Good morning, everybody. Happy Good Friday. Today's Good Friday, Easter Sunday. So it should be a great weekend. It's going to be a beautiful weekend here. And hopefully it's going to be nice wherever you're at. Looks like probably a 3-day weekend for a lot of people. I see my neighbor's truck is over there in his driveway. And at first I thought, oh, he's late for work. Now, oh, wait, yeah, it's Good Friday. So he probably gets a 3-day weekend. So anyway, here we are. Let's see who we got hanging out with us today. Mr. Sharp is in the house. Good morning. Steve Gronsky. It's another beautiful day here in Mustang, Oklahoma. All right. Larry Galt says, morning, everyone. I'm here, sore muscles and all. Yeah, if you're still going up and down on that roof, Larry, I know what you mean. I got where I can't do much of anything, especially with a ladder. Man, my leg, I have stuff hurting I didn't even know I had. But Gary Hammett, good Friday morning. Kevin Ells is here. Good morning, Kevin. Paul Stewart's here. Happy Friday. My buddy Doc Whitaker's in the house. How you doing, Doc? Wilson Rubottom says good morning. Doug Sis says, morning, everyone. Banana chips and apple chips today. I guess he's going to keep that dehydrator cranked up. That's good. That's good. Yeah, those things look good. I saw some videos with them doing the banana chips and apple slices. And I mean, just anything. Radishes, all kinds of stuff. Marcello's here this morning. Says, good morning, all. Happy Good Friday. Let's see, I'm missing somebody down here. Sean Draper's in the house this morning. How you doing? And Mr. Mike Reynolds is here. Happy Good Friday, he says. Yep, it's gonna be a good day. I think I'm going to go out there right after I get done drinking my coffee and drag the lawn tractor out and cut the grass because it's after that rain we got the other day. I got to tell you, I'd forgotten about it, but I went out there earlier in the week. I can't remember what day it was. Whatever day. Saturday, I think it was last week. And I might have told you before, but I have they're 55-gallon drums, but they're those white plastic food grade type drums. And I had made like a thing under my deck. I'd made a little rack where those two drums sit horizontally. And then I had a hole cut into the side of one of them. And then I cut my downspout off and I had a little duct thing going into there. And I had them set up and I wanted to, I haven't really used them here lately. I've since moved it and just had another thing running on out in the yard to drain the water off. So I emptied those out. They were pretty much empty anyway, but I cleaned them out and I moved the rack over to the side. It's still under the deck, but it's right where I can get to it from the garden. And they have, like I said, they set horizontally. So I've got a water spigot. There's two holes. You got the round thing. So you got a hole at the bottom. There's a water spigot. And then there's another, like a vent hole at the top. Well, what I did is I took the one where the vent hole is at the top. I took a piece of hose, threaded it in there, and then just cut another hole into the top of the other one. And so I've got them set right side by side. So when the first one comes in and from the gutter and the water fills it all the way up, it will overflow and go into the second one. And The reason I like to do that, especially the last time I did it was when I was doing those raised garden beds, because sometimes here in Georgia, we have some really hot, freaking hot summers. And sometimes we'll hit a spot where we have a drought conditions, and it'll be 3 or 4 weeks sometimes where you don't get not a drop of rain. And then also, if it hits those drought conditions, which they're saying right now we're still um, under our average rainfall for this year. But sometimes they will, they'll start putting on, because even though I'm pretty good ways from Atlanta, my county is still considered part of Metro Atlanta. So they put all these restrictions on it where, you can only water on odd days depending on your address, or even days, or something like that. Cat won't wash your cars, and all that kind of stuff. So just in case, because we've been having some crazy weather here lately, just in case any of that happens this year, I like to keep those drums full of as full as I can of rainwater, and then I can just use that to water. Kind of help stretch it out a little bit. But I was surprised because I thought of it yesterday. I thought, oh yeah, I forgot. I moved those around, and I redid it with PVC so it wouldn't leak anything. And I thought, I wonder how much rain I collected off that roof the other day. And I went out there, and just from that one day, what day was it? No, it was Wednesday, I think, is when it rained all day. Pretty much all day. I had one drum slap full, and had the other drum was probably over a third full. So probably somewhere around 75, 80 gallons of water I got just from that one little 6-foot gutter section of that rain falling on the roof right there. So pretty happy about that. So start storing up some water. I'm thinking maybe I should probably try to get another 1 or 2 of those barrels just in case too, because I hate to go to all this trouble to do a garden and have it where of course you can sneak around and water it, I guess, but I try to be a rule follower sometimes. Let's see here what some folks saying. Earl Walker's here. He says, morning everyone. At the VA hospital getting a PET scan, whatever that is. Been having some troubles, can't eat, lost 42 pounds in the last 3 months. Found mass in my esophagus, cancer. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. Keep us posted on that, Earl. That doesn't sound good at all. Yeah, Wilson says, we'll send some prayers up for you, Earl. Clyde CNC's in the house. Good morning, sir. LB as well. Doug says, can you gravity feed a soaker hose from the barrels? Yes, I can. The barrels, it barely works out right. The barrels are, I just took like some 2x6s and made a frame, and then I've got them kind of, the radius of the barrel, so they set on there sideways, and then there are 2 8-inch blocks. So there's 16 inches of block, and then that little stand. So it sets up probably another 3 inches or so, 3 or 4 inches above that. And then the barrel. And then, like I said, the spigot's at the bottom. And it works out so that when I get that set up that high, when you stand out there and you look at that PVC pipe that runs from my downspout that comes down through the deck over to that barrel, it almost looks like it's level. I mean, it's just a slight grade. Just, of course, that's all it needs to be, I guess. But yeah, so I wanted to get it as high as I could so that I could just stick a hose on there like a soaker hose and just turn it on and then just let it go. So uh, there you go. It says we've been on a whole house rainwater system for 15 years. I also have a well I use for outside 8,500 gallon tank. Cool. Cool. I tell you, it's amazing how much rain you can collect off a roof. And I'm just using the part of my roof that the gutter section that I'm using is just what little bit that goes right over my back door and kind of it does a 90 and comes around. The whole thing probably isn't 6 foot long, but it's got a pretty good peak on the roof there, and it gets a lot of water. If I had a water barrel or had a setup where I could collect water from every downspout I have, man, I would have tons of water. But I think just using this one um, will work out okay. Like I said, it may be where you know, it's not going to be that big a deal. But like I said, we have had some summers where it gets just ridiculously hot here. I think even last year, I think we may have set a record last year. I can't remember, but we had like so many days in a row that were 90 plus. And yeah, let's see. Text says prayers for Earl and family. Paul Camp says he's late, but I made it. Larry Gaunt says Earl Walker, same thing. He had 13-year survivor. There you go. And Jesse's here. He just popped in. JJ Woodshop. I figured we might have kind of a small crowd because, it is Good Friday. People got other things to do. Unlike me, which I don't really have much to do. I'm so excited though. My little fertilizer stuff didn't come in yesterday. I was hoping it would, but it's on its way here as we speak. And it should be here by whenever my mailman comes, because it's coming through the post office. So I'm going to mix up a batch of that fertilizer and get all my stuff a little shot of that. I've got my tomatoes, all of them are doing okay. But I have noticed, because I've been, I told you, I think I've got on that table under the main section of that light, there's like 8 rows of solo cups and they're 6 deep. So what I've been doing is taking the 2 off the back, moving them to the front, and then shove all that. So I've been keeping them rotated just because those lights, I've got 2 of those LEDs, probably, I don't know, a few inches apart. So the ones on the outside edges wouldn't get as much. So I've been rotating everybody so they're all getting the same shot at the light. But right now, the way after I rotated them yesterday, I got to looking and I'm like, well, that's weird. Those 2 rows in the back look like they're doing way better than the other 4 rows forward. Now, in those other 4 rows, some of them look fine, and then there's some that are kind of puny. So I got to looking, and it's just the way the rotation is. The ones that are in the back that look really well, those are the bodacious hybrids. And all the other ones that are, some look good, some starting to look a little puny, are the steak sandwich hybrids. So I think they're going to be fine, but I'm hoping that after my fertilizer comes in, I mix up that magic serum for them. I hope it perks them up, makes them look right. But everything else is doing good. I've got to repot some more of those dozen banana peppers that I seeded back a couple weeks ago. They need to be repotted. They're getting pretty good. So I need to repot those into some solo cups. Oh, somebody didn't give me a thumbs down. Hot diggity. Thank you so much, jerk. I don't care. They don't mean, those numbers don't mean anything to me. I'm going to sit here and drink my coffee anyway. If nobody shows up, I'll just notice, turn it off, quit doing it. So it don't matter to me. Let's see. Marcello says, good day to tinker in the shop. Yeah, pretty much any day is a good day for that, though. Paul says, I have lots to do, but coffee comes first, then more coffee. Yeah, I'm on my second cup, and I'm using the little smaller Rocky cup this time. And usually when I use the smaller one, I have 3 cups. Jim Santacola is here. Good Friday, everyone. Sunny and cool here in Midland, Michigan. Mr. Jones from Portal Woodworks is here. Now, I saw a David Jones on my Facebook thing that said it was a birthday. Is it your birthday today, Mr. Portal Woodworks, or is it not? If it is, happy birthday. If it's the wrong David Jones, well then, happy birthday to that guy. I'm not sure whether it was you or not, because I don't ever see on Facebook, I think, except it's Portal Woodworks, I think. I might be wrong. Jeremiah Brown's in the house this morning. He says, waiting on a plumber to see how much replacing the 8-foot section of cast iron drain under the house is going to hit me. I may have to take a YouTube class and go get dirty. Yeah, I know the feeling, buddy. I know the feeling. I agree with Paul, though. Sometimes it's just worth the money to have a plumber do it, and it usually goes quicker. Yeah. That's what I would say. Oh, David says, yeah. So I guess it is your birthday then. So you're the birthday boy today. Well, happy birthday. Good deal. May you have many more. Wilson says he's planting corn Saturday. Good deal. Good deal. Yeah, any of you guys that, or gals, I know sometimes there's gals. Looks like it's all guys here today. But any of you guys or gals, if you're doing the garden thing too, share your pictures with me. In any tips, tricks, that stuff is constructive criticism. Any of that is very much welcome. Because I've got all my education pretty much from YouTube as far as some of this stuff. Because back when my parents had garden, I wasn't paying attention. I was interested in picking it and eating it. I didn't really pay attention to how they did stuff. And I'm sure it was a lot different then too. Gardening has really evolved. It's a lot different than the way it used to be way back in the day. There's just so many different kinds of ways. Some of them do the back to Eden method or the no-till method, and other people are old school and still till it and put compost on it and till it in and all that stuff. It's, of course, everybody that does it thinks their way is the right way. But, well, good luck on getting your plumbing thing done. There, Jerry. Haven't seen any deer this morning. I had my little deer video yesterday. I think Jack might have seen him out the back, though, because he did the same thing about the same time yesterday. He was looking out that back window, and his hair stood up on his back, and He was seeing something out there, but I figure that uh, might be what he was seeing out there. I look out there and I can't see nothing. I don't know how he sees it because that woods is so thick uh, past where my fence is. It's pretty thick. Paul says, "Good looking cup you have there, Dave." Yeah. This is one of the cups I made. There's my Rocky Top right there, and then this one has a picture of both. You can't really tell Jack because he's so black. But that's Rocky and Jack. David says he's talking about his birthday. He says it's mine and Julian can't grow a beard. Martina's birthday. I know exactly who you're talking about there. And that's a pretty good, accurate description, I would say. All right. Prayers to you, Earl. Hope everything goes well. Let's see. What else? Oh, right before I went live, in fact, I almost bought one, but I thought, well, instead of buying one online, I could probably just go get one at Tractor Supply or something. I'm sure they have them. But I was online looking for those deer salt lick blocks. I think I may get one of those and stick out there in the front near where they were the other day on my video. Of course, I'll probably do that and then they won't come back, but they'll find it, I'm sure. Paul says, if the gardening method you use works, then you can say it's good. Yeah. Well, I hope mine's going to be okay. I had people when I did that last YouTube video to show what I'd been up to, and I was talking about starting a garden and tilling up that spot. I had one guy that was like, "Oh, you're messing up. You don't till. And I'm like, you got to till it to loosen it up. Just when you're starting the very first time, you can't just, unless you have, all the wood chips and the shredded leaves and all that stuff over it for a year. It takes a while to build up soil. You don't just do it and it's boom, it's instant. So I tilled it up that one time just to get the weeds and the roots and the rocks and all that. And of course, now I'm keeping it covered with all those shredded leaves that I've been doing, because I know anywhere you go in the back out there where there's leaves all over the ground, you take the rake and you rake those leaves up, and underneath it is black soil. It's because it's wet, because the leaves keep the moisture in and all that. So we'll see. Bruce wants to know how the chicken operation going. It's not really going yet. I mean, I've got the coop built. I've got my brooding box built, ready. I just haven't gone to get them. We've had this other cold snap, and I'm going to keep them out in my shop, which is not heated. It is insulated, but that don't mean anything. It's still cold out there if it gets cold outside. And I've got that heat lamp, but I thought, well, there's no sense in me getting them now and then taking a chance on losing some of them because of the cold. So I'm going to wait. I may go get them this weekend or something. I don't know. Like I said, my thing's all ready. All I got to do is get them, stick them in there, and then turn that light on. And we're good to go. George Rothfuss is here this morning. How you doing, George? Happy Good Friday to you. Yeah, just not much going on. A lot of crazy stuff on the news. I know some of y'all probably don't even follow it, but Georgia was one of the states that had some questionable. I'll say it like that, I guess. Very questionable election stuff going on last November, and now the the state senators and stuff and state house and all that, they've come up with a new bill that's going to require voter ID. Finally, well, I mean, we've always had voter ID if you go to vote in person, but I mean, they really had let it get lax where there was no way to tell who, if somebody did one of those mail-in ballot things, whether it was a legitimate vote or not. So they're trying to straighten that up, but and now, of course, you got the mob cancel culture people trying to tell everybody to boycott. Let's see, Home Depot's one of them, which I'm just going to end up buying more from Home Depot now. And Coca-Cola is another big company, being their headquarters here in Atlanta and all that. So, but yeah, so we got all of that going on. Delta was fine with the bill until they started getting pressure from the cancel culture mob, and when they started talking about boycotting Delta, now all of a sudden they jumped on their bandwagon. So, which I don't understand, because I'm pretty sure you got to show an ID to get on one of their little planes. So anyway, just all that crazy stuff. So sick of it, but just I guess all that stuff don't really matter in the big scheme of things. Troy Pritchard's here. Good morning, Troy. Happy Good Friday to you. Paul Camp says, put the salt block in a location where you want to kill weeds. Well, in that case, it could go pretty much anywhere in my front yard. My front yard, always in the spring, you look out there now and you go, oh man, it's so pretty and green. It's green, but that's because weeds are green. If I threw weed killer out there and it killed off all the weeds and left just grass, it would be a pitiful sight, I'm telling you. But anyhow, but usually as the summer goes on, I guess the grass seems to do better and starts pushing out the weeds. But man, my yard would be full of little dandelion things and those little, I don't know what they are, them other little flower things that stick up. That's why I hate, because a lot of times I know my neighbors probably hate me because they're like, why don't that guy cut his grass? I'm like, well, you look at the grass don't need cutting. It's short. It's just those weed things stick up and look like crazy. But yeah, we got that rain so the other day, so it's really looking green. So I get out there and cut it. And I guess I can go now since my timer just went off. Mr. Camp says people just need to mind their own business and let life run its course. Yeah. Yeah, it's all about the cancel culture stuff these days. If you don't agree to their way of thinking, they will try to cancel you. And on that note, I'm going to go cut my grass. Paul says the rainwater will melt the block and the salt water will kill most things. Okay. Well, it'll be in a spot where it don't matter. But I do want to put it in an area where I can still see it with my security camera. So if the deer come out there, I'll be able to get video of them playing around out there. All right, everybody have a happy Easter. Have a good Friday. And I guess we will see y'all on Monday, for the 304th coffee session. Have a good weekend, everybody.